So my name is Don Brett. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at a operating unit of Sycamore Partners, a private equity group based out of New York. My role is a combination of a brick and mortar traditional selling capacity, as well as my prior role here was a Chief Digital Officer, where I did a lot of work on our tech stack and e-commerce strategy. Before that, I spent many years with Newell Brands, which is a little north of $10 billion durables company with brands like Sharpie and Elmer's Glue and Crock-Pot, things of the like. I led our e-commerce. I was one of our e-commerce division leads. In the future, it's really going to be about data, dialogue, and speed. Making sure that your availability of your product that you're promoting online, that it's actually available. I mean, without data to help inform real time those decisions, a brand in many cases could be spending marketing dollars on a widget that is out of stock. Your pricing decisions need to be real time. They need to be dynamic. If you don't have data informing your pricing algorithm and decisions, you're kind of already somewhat way behind the game. If from a profitability perspective, you also need to understand, you mentioned the unit economics, e-commerce versus brick and mortar can be in some cases margin accretive. In some cases it's margin accretive, but you need data to help inform that. You need to make sure that that's informing the P&L of the operator and the brand. The best in class companies are a very high blend of hands-on keyboard, and many executives have access to the data that just an analyst would. The state that many brands are in is they have a few different ERPs. They have a few different teams inside the business that maybe do or don't have similar objectives, but oftentimes have different data that are driving or supporting their agenda. Whether it's a sales and marketing team, an e-com team, a shopper marketing team, a product marketing team, a supply chain team. And without a single source of data, you inherently construct an environment unintentionally that is kind of more prone to internal conflict. It creates an environment where actually you lose sight of the competition to gain sales, margin, and shares outside of your four walls. And it really prevents a business from driving value creation. So having data that is universal, that is, quote unquote, the single source of truth, is a key enabler for a brand to really be a leader in value creation in their category in the future. If you really pull back the curtain on this and you look at an average organization, the majority of business constructs are, from an org design perspective, still set up in the way that made sense 25 years ago. Right. In some cases, the sales team is just solely focused on brick and mortar sales. The marketing team is managing a national advertising budget and likely investing little in digital or retail media, with probably very little consumer insights driving any product development. It's probably more subjective than anything. And you have a supply chain function in many businesses that's not connected to real-time data feeds of consumption, replenishment, out of stocks. You're talking about more weekly and monthly reporting than daily reporting. In some cases, the IT department manages an e-commerce budget. If a company has an ambition to accelerate their digital transformation commercially, operationally, et cetera, data at scale is a key enabler to that ambition. When we make things manual, we really inhibit our ability to scale. I really would want to know not only how I'm doing year over year in sales and margin, which are a bit more in my control, but how am I doing versus the outside world? For me, I would start there, and then I would probably just build out a one-pager that everyone could look at, and everyone would be on the same page, allowing the organization just greater efficiency. I can't think of much else that's more important than data as an enabler to that. other than potentially, probably, obviously, great leadership and talent to propel an organization. But data is really the unlock, but it has to be channeled and it has to be leveraged in the right way, for it to really be a game changer for our industry and for brands. There is a inordinate amount of time spent on non-value added tasks, and there's a very small amount of time spent on the most important tasks. And I would imagine, in a world where we are doing much less manual data pulls and guessing and estimating, it would allow us to spend more time on really enabling our strategy. And everything a business does is, quite honestly, centered around just a couple things. It's clarity around the ambition, clarity around where to play, how to win, the systems needed, and the capabilities. That's it. Data is an enabler to spend much less time doing those tasks, and more time working on those five choices, which are what strategy is defined as.